What's up, guys? Hope you're enjoying your Saturday. Thanks for tuning in for a little late afternoon quality control session. I haven't streamed or really posted anything since the 49ers did not trade for Maxx Crosby. The freaking Baltimore Ravens got him. And I see people saying like the Ravens messed up. What a stupid move for Baltimore. I don't know. I I guess if you have a general manager who's good at drafting, then by all means, keep your draft picks. But that's not the kind of franchise the 49ers are. The 49ers have Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. It's unclear who exactly picks these players. Maybe they pick names out of a hat. Maybe they ask David Lombardi to pick the players or someone on the coaching staff. I don't know. But they're terrible at it. We have so much data, especially in round one. So it would have cost the Ravens 2 first-round picks to get Maxx Crosby. Is it worth it for them? Yes. You have one of the best quarterbacks of all time, maybe not of all time, but he's won 2 MVPs. He's getting towards the end of his athletic prime. Go all in right now. You saw the Rams go all in. And the 49ers, they always like, no, we don't want to deviate from our plan. We want to stick to our process. We got to get younger. How's that going? You're still the oldest team in the league. The Niners officially are the oldest team in the league heading into free agency. Last year was all about resetting and reloading and getting younger. How'd that go? I just want to point out that so they're going to hold on to their first round pick. The Rams never do. They've drafted since Sean McVay has been the head coach. They've actually used their first round pick in the draft one time. They've traded all the other ones. They drafted Jared Verse. Every other pick they traded. Here are the picks the Niners have used in round one under Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. Solomon Thomas, Reuben Foster, Mike McGlinchey, Nick Bosa, Javon Kinlaw. They traded DeForest Buckner for this pick because they like draft picks so freaking much. Javon Kinlaw, Brandon Ayuk, Trey Lance, Ricky Pearsall, Mykel Williams. 9 first-round picks in 9 years. And of those 9 picks, you could really only say that they got the right guy. They got the best player available twice in Bosa and Brandon Ayuk. So 2 for 9. That's a 22% success rate. The other picks were like, maybe Mykel Williams is okay, but you got like Timu Eric Armstead, who wasn't even a top 11 pick. He's Eric Armstead in a few years if he puts on 30 to 40 pounds. So that's what you held your first round picks for, to let John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan throw up a prayer in round one? I mean, them picking in round one has less of a chance. I mean, they're worse than Draymond Green shooting a 3. Draymond Green has like a 32% chance to make a 3-point shot. Draymond Green has a better chance to make a 3 than the 49ers do to get their pick right in round one. Trade that shit. Pardon my French. Know who you are. You're not getting better at this. You've been doing this for 10 years. You're not good at drafting in round one. So trade the pick. And maybe you say, you know what? Maybe don't give up 2 firsts for Maxx Crosby, although I don't see why not. You're already the oldest team in the league. You're committed to the old players. That's your core. He's not even that old. He's like 28. He's a great player. If you had Maxx Crosby, he would be instantly the second best player on the team after Fred Warner. Better than Nick Bosa, better than Trent Williams, better than Christian McCaffrey, better than George Kittle. And if you had Howie Roseman or John Schneider as your general manager, then don't do that. Hold on to your draft picks because those guys can make magic. And if you have a coach who likes playing young guys, then definitely draft players, but you don't have a good GM, and you don't have a coach who likes to play young players, especially on offense. So I don't understand why the Niners weren't more interested in Max. It didn't even really seem like they made an offer. We didn't hear that they were in the running. Clearly, their 2 first-round picks weren't as valuable as the Ravens' 2 first-round picks because they were picking 14th this year. So, okay, you didn't get Maxx Crosby. There's someone else they could trade for. and should trade for. And I'll save that for later in the show. So stay tuned. I'm going to tell you who I think the Niners should trade for. But just keep in mind, like, we know this front office, this regime. We know what they're good at. We know what they're not good at. And they are good at certain things. They've had some success. They've gone to multiple NFC championship games. Are they good at drafting? No. They've hit on some important draft picks, Brock Purdy, George Kittle. But really, in the last 5 years, what do they have to show for their drafting? Purdy. So they're not really great at that, especially in the early rounds. Are they great at signing players? I mean, no. They've had some success. Eddie Pinheiro, Robbie Gould, Travarius Ward, Darnold, Mac Jones, K'Wan Williams. They've had some successes there. They've also signed Javon Hargrave, Jerick McKinnon, Brian Hoyer, Pierre Garçon, Malcolm Smith. To me, where they've had their most success is in trades. Their trade for Christian McCaffrey was one of the best trades in franchise history. It was perfect. They got Christian McCaffrey kind of at a bargain. They didn't even have to give up a first-round pick for him. He went on to be their offensive player of the year. He was the freaking offense for years. It was a great trade. All-time great Niner trade, trading for Christian McCaffrey. All-time great, an even better trade was trading for Trent Williams. They gave up a third and a fifth because Kyle had a prior relationship with him and the Washington franchise nearly killed him. Right? He had like cancer and they didn't know. Anyway, all-time great trade. The Jimmy Garoppolo trade. Ultimately a successful trade. You gave up a second-round pick for a quarterback, starting quarterback, who played a bunch of games, won a bunch of games, ultimately wasn't good enough, but you didn't trade 2 firsts for him. You didn't trade 3 firsts for him and then give up on him after 4 starts. He essentially did his job, exceeded, not expectations, but exceeded the draft capital you gave up to get him. 3 big-time trades. Then there was the midseason rental of Emmanuel Sanders. That was great. He did his job. It's a 4th trade. Where you mess up is when you get cute and you trade a proven player for a draft pick. That's what the Niners have to understand. You're not good at scouting college personnel. You're not good at it. John isn't good at it. Kyle isn't good at it. Chris Kasarik isn't good at it. Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah isn't good at it. Tariq Ahmad isn't good at it. Josh Williams. No one wants anyone from the Niners front office. But what they can do is assess talent from around the league, which isn't really the hardest thing to do. I mean, you can see them against teams that you're facing in similar systems that you run. And then you can add, it was clear for Kyle Shanahan, he's been watching Christian McCaffrey for years. He's coached against Christian McCaffrey. He knew exactly what Christian McCaffrey could be in his system. That's the kind of moves the Niners should make. Go get someone who you know is good. I just don't have confidence in you in drafting. You got a 22% chance in round 1 to make the right call. 22% chance. I'd rather pass it over to Draymond in the corner and let him shoot a 3. So, okay, you didn't have the draft capital to get Maxx Crosby. Fine. You should not be using your first-round pick. You shouldn't. You suck at it. You're going to mess it up. The 2 times you didn't mess it up were Nick Bosa, which was a no-brainer, and Brandon Ayuk. That was the one good one. The one that actually took brain power. Thought was Ayuk. And he's not on the team anymore because he alienated him.